Okay, back in November when I got my owl crate, it came with this book, Heartless, by Marissa Meyer. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I loved it. I read it over Thanksgiving break, and also it's really pretty. This is the exclusive Owl Crate cover, so unless you're a subscriber to Owl Crate, you can't have it. But in the book, there are some seriously delicious treats like tarts and stuff like that, and I'm a baker myself, actually, just like the main character. So I just happened to have these chocolate chip cookies with me today, and I'm going to share them with the cameraman. So, Ross, would you like one of these delicious cookies that I made?
I made them. You can have some.
Thanks. Okay, so moving on from the cookies that I actually did not make and that my husband made because he's good at making chocolate chip cookies and I'm not. I don't know why. This book was really awesome, and there are a few things in particular that I really liked about it, but first I'm going to tell you what it's about, because if you don't already know, this will be a very confusing review. So Heartless is about the Queen of Hearts. It's kind of like her backstory. I guess not officially canon, but you know, whatever, it's fun. So it's the story of Catherine, the future Queen of Hearts. She lives in the land of hearts. She's one of the most desired girls in the land, and the king is real into that booty. So but she doesn't like him. She wants to be a baker. She's really good at making tarts and things like that. And so she's a career woman for sure. So she's like, no, I'm not gonna marry that king. And instead she wants to open a bakery with her best friend. But her mom doesn't approve, and she's like, girl, you gonna put a ring on that finger instead. But she's like, no, it's not gonna happen. So, as the story goes on, she meets this court joker named Jest, who is swoon-worthy, if I do say so myself. So that's basically the plot of the story. They enter into a secret romance, and that's all in the synopsis, so I didn't ruin anything. No spoilers allowed. But there are 3 things that I really, really liked about this book. One of those was the romantic lead, Jest, because he's a babe, and he's a babe with a personality, which is a really good thing. I like his personality a lot. He's a cool guy. So that's one of the things I really liked about it, but not the most important thing. One of the most important things I really liked about this book was the main character herself, Catherine, because she's interesting and she has ambitions and she's cool, but she's not perfect. She's not one of those characters that you read about and you just feel like, wow, I could never be like that girl because she's just this little angel. She's not like that. She's kind of a brat sometimes, and she has anger issues. She's so focused on her career that she forgets about her family and her friends sometimes, and all those sorts of things. So, and she's a big daydreamer, so that gets her into trouble a lot. But I feel like all those things are a perfect setup, actually, to her being the Queen of Hearts, because the Queen of Hearts is angry all the time, and she's not a very forgiving person. Everything is, like, off with her head.
With their heads!
So she's a very scary villain. So I feel like Catherine is a perfect origin, I guess, for that type of character. Somebody who has good intentions and is in certain undesirable circumstances that lead to other undesirable circumstances, etc., etc. No more plot points on that one. So that's one of the things I really liked about it. I like that she's a flawed heroine and that we can root for her despite the fact that she has a lot of issues. Another thing I really liked about it was the fact that the lore of Wonderland, like the whole Alice in Wonderland aspect of it, was really tightly woven into it. So it doesn't just feel like this little dinky beginning story that doesn't really have that much to do with it. There's a lot of detail. There's like the same characters show up in it, so that you kind of feel like she must have done a lot of research to write this book. So there aren't any plot holes. Everything means something in this. Like at the beginning of the book, there's a lot of moments where you're like, that was like literally the most random thing in the world. Why did that just happen? And then by the end of the book, you're like, oh my gosh, everything connects and this is a big deal and this book is so good. So it just kind of all ends up like twisting together and making sense in the end, which is really cool because I I really hate when I get to the end of the book and I'm like, well, what was the reason that there were all these tarts in the book? What was the reason for the white rose? Why is there this random shadowy figure that she thinks is going to kill her all the time? Like, all of that gets explained at the end of the book. So it's very, very well done, Marissa Meyer. No plot holes. I commend you for that because that's hard. I know that most authors leave something undone. So that's something I really liked about it. Things I wasn't crazy about, there are a few moments that are emotionally stilted, where it doesn't quite feel like there's a lot of motivation for the character to act the way they're acting, but that's pretty typical of YA books, I feel like, and I mean, just kind of Mayer's writing in general. I've read some of her other books, and there's moments like that, but for me, it didn't take away from the story. It didn't take away from my rating of the story, which was like 5 stars, because I thought it was great. So if you're an Alice in Wonderland fan, this is fanned. I just said fanned. If you're an Alice in Wonderland fan, then you would probably love this book because it gives this rich, engrossing story to a character that we've all kind of learned to be scared of because the Queen of Hearts is just psycho. So yeah, it's really good for people who love the original story, but even if you didn't, you could probably still really like this book and think that there's a lot that it offers. So I would suggest reading this book. I thought it was great. I'm almost done with her Lunar Chronicles books, so that's cool. I need to finish Winter. I don't know. So I'm gonna do that soon. I hope. School's started again, so it's a little crazy. But besides this, I am currently reading the second Outlander book, Dragonfly and Amber, and I'm loving it so far. Just if you're really into like historical stuff, this is the way to go. I mean, it's a hefty tome, so it's a commitment, but it's way good. If you have a chance, my sister recently made a little video review for Cinder, which is also by Marissa Meyer, so you can check that out. She's a little cutie, just adorable. And yeah, please like and subscribe, and please write in the comments below what you think of Marissa Meyer's books. I'm a big fan so far, and have a great day. Bye. Is there lipstick on my teeth?
No.
Hey. Oh, my lip is twitching.
Can't tell.
That's good, because I can feel it going.